Hey there! Welcome to Flute 360, the podcast where flutists rediscover their voice, their joy, and their God-given calling. I'm Dr. Heidi Kay Begay, flutist, educator, podcaster, creative entrepreneur, and above all, a follower of Christ. Here, we go beyond scales and etudes. We talk about faith, identity, calling, and how true artistry flows from the inside out. You're not just a flutist who plays well. You're an artist with purpose. You are God's instrument first. And when you live in alignment with who He created you to be, everything shifts. Your music, your mindset, your career, your joy. Whether you're teaching, performing, building a creative career, or simply wondering if your voice still matters, there's a place for you here. So come as you are. There's a seat for you at the Flute 360 table. Let's grow together, personally, musically, and professionally. Today's episode is episode 333, and it's titled Silence, Resistance, and Showing Up Anyway. Before we dive in, I've got something special for you. If you've ever struggled with performance anxiety or wished you could feel more confident on stage, I created a free download just for you. It's called Your Musical Story, a 5-minute prompt to help you clarify your voice, connect with your message, and perform with confidence. Grab it in the show notes and let's start building your inner strength from the inside out. Hey there, friend. It's been a little while, and what a full summer it's been, right? Oh my goodness. So I wanted to pop in and offer you a bit of encouragement today. Something to reflect on. Maybe even something new to try, whether that's in your business, your flute playing, or your personal life. And it all centers around this simple but powerful idea: listening. Really, truly listening. Now, I know this is something you already do oh so beautifully. As flutists, we've honed this craft, listening to intonation, blend, vibrato, color, tone, and the list goes on and on. It's built into our musical DNA. But lately, this idea of deep listening has been showing up for me, not just musically, but in my podcasting world, my business decisions, and even what my body is asking from me. You know, in communication, the most important part isn't always the talking. It's the listening. Taking the cotton balls out of our ears, so to speak, and really tuning in. Not just to words, but to facial expressions, tone, body language, and energy. What are our students really saying? What is my guest on the podcast actually revealing? And this kind of listening has been huge in my own healing process. Listening to the body, meeting myself where I actually am instead of where I think I should be. That's where real healing begins, both physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So it's so easy to gloss over this because we listen all the time in our playing and teaching. But I've had to ask of myself lately, what is the Holy Spirit asking me to notice right now? What is He asking me to step into or maybe step away from? Because here's the truth. We live in such a go, go, go world, right? One appointment to the next, one social media reel to the next. Everything's so fast paced and overstimulated. I wonder sometimes if that's why we lean on so much caffeine or refined sugar. Perhaps to keep up with a pace we were never meant to sustain. But then there's that crash, right? The depletion, the brain fog. So here's what I want to offer. What if we carved out 30 quiet minutes at the start of our day? No phone, no noise, no input, just stillness. Listen and see what bubbles up. What do you feel in your body? What new ideas emerge? Because sometimes the best strategy doesn't come from more execution. It comes from pausing, from silence. And that silence, it's not empty. It's full of answers. That brings me to part 2 of this conversation. And really, it fits hand in hand with what we just talked about. Because when we finally do get quiet, guess what shows up? Resistance. This week, I finished reading The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. It's such a quick, powerful read, and I highly recommend it if you haven't yet. The whole book unpacks the concept of resistance, how it shows up, why it matters, and how it tries to keep us from doing our most important work. And let me tell you what, it hit home. Right after finishing the book, I had 2 coaching calls with musicians who I deeply admire. We will call them Sue and Melody. These women are seasoned professionals. They've accomplished so much in our music field. Books, awards, you name it. Honestly, I was just coming in as a project manager to help them out with their latest creative project, helping with logistics, scheduling, and things like that. But then something unexpected happened. I noticed some pushback, some missed deadlines, hesitations, and I gently asked, "So what's going on?" And oh my goodness, what surfaced was so deeply human. Fear of being seen, fear of judgment, and fear of not doing their work justice. In other words, resistance. It was humbling to realize that even the people who we look up to still wrestle with this. That voice that says from time to time, "Don't show up unless it's perfect." Does that sound familiar to you? And then that got me thinking, what am I resisting? For me, it was writing my holistic healing book. I kept telling myself, "Oh, I don't have the time." But when I really sat with that and got honest, I realized I could make time. I just had to release a few things that weren't aligned. So I backed out of a marketing campaign, which, don't worry, it was graciously received. And just like that, I had 10 hours back in my week. 10 hours I could now pour into writing. That resistance, it started to lose its grip the moment I made a move. But there was another layer too. Another piece of resistance showed up as this voice that whispered, "Well, you're not a medical doctor, so who are you to write about holistic healing?" And here's the thing, the whole point of the book is to share my story, my healing journey from my perspective. I'm not pretending to be a medical doctor. I'm simply a musician who went through some intense injuries and through a lot of trial and error, found people, methods, and tools that helped me climb out of that ditch. Now, I don't have all the answers, but I do have my lived experience. I've done the research. I found what works for me, and I want to pass that along in case it can help another musician as well. Sometimes resistance shows up as a lie wrapped in logic. But when you hold that voice up to the light and refute it with truth, it starts to lose its power. So now your turn. I want to ask you, what creative or musical project have you been putting off? Where is resistance creeping in? Is it showing up as a procrastination, perfectionism, or fear? What excuses are rising to the surface, and are they really true? Or are they just fear in disguise? What's one small move you can make this week to reclaim your time or your voice? And what could you delete, pause, or delegate to finally get momentum? Because maybe that one project you're avoiding, it could be the very domino that knocks over everything else, bringing you clarity, direction, and joy back into your playing and/or career. So I'd love to hear what you're working through. Come share it with me. Let's keep each other moving forward. And whether you're in the early stages of your journey or decades in, I hope this reminds you that you're not alone. We all face resistance. We all need those quiet moments to truly listen. And we all need friends and coaches to come alongside and say, "You've got this. Let's figure it out together." If this stirred something in you, let me know. Share what you're resisting in this particular season. And if I can help you move through it, whether as a coach, flute instructor, project manager, or just a cheerleader, I'm here for you all the way. Many, many hugs, and until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Flute 360 podcast episode. So if today's episode spoke to you, don't forget to grab your free guide titled Your Musical Story, which is linked below. This is your first step to finding your voice, building stage confidence, and performing with clarity without more practice. And if you're ready to go deeper, join me for our live workshop on Saturday, July 26, 2025, from 11 a.m. Central Time to 1 p.m. Central Time for your one-day auditor pass, which is just $17. And you'll walk away transformed both personally, musically, and professionally. You've got this. Let's talk about flute.